Oh God Sports. Let's talk boxing. Let's talk recap from Saturday night's fights. Um, big four fights in the main card. There was other fights in the undercard, but the four main cards was the main cards that people was talking about. Or four main fights was the fights that people was talking about. It's kind of a lackluster night because there was a lot of boxing. So if you're a boxing fanatic, you like boxing, you understand boxing, you love the night. It was a great night for boxing. Um, but if you're just a headhunter fan and you like knockouts, it was not definitely not a good night for you last night. It is what it is. We're gonna start with we are going to start with the first fight of the night, which was Demetrius Andre. Demetrius Andre beat Damon Nicholson. Um, and yeah, man, I mean, it was just if you know Boo Boo, that's what Boo Boo does, man. He just boxed his ass off, hit him with different angles, kept his distance. Was inside when he wanted to be inside, outside when he wanted to be outside. For the most part, he just controlled the fight. Showed a different level. Not to say that the man is not on that level, but he just showed a different level. You know what I'm saying? And I look forward to big fights in the future for him. Hopefully he gets that Charlo fight, but it's boxing, it's politics, anything could happen. The main thing for Boo Boo is just stay active. Hopefully he just stays active. We'll see him back in about 3 months. Nothing really happened to him. Wasn't hurt, nothing significant. Maybe a little slight cut in the eye, something like that. But other than that, man, he seemed good to go, look fresh, young 34. So yeah, man, hopefully he gets some big fights coming up, man, and he could cash in on those. He definitely deserves it and definitely an avoided guy. So yeah, man. Hopefully Boo Boo gets some big fights. He definitely did his thing to start the night. Next fight on that slate was Rashidi Ellis. And this fight is a lot of people say Rashidi was robbed. I feel the same way. I feel like he should have won the fight, but also I felt like the ref helped him out a little bit, especially towards the end. There was a few long counts, in my opinion, where he's turning around worrying about the other boxer, telling him to go back, this and that. Like, just get the count, make sure he's good. Once he beats that 8 count, then we worry about the boxer and all that other stuff and pushing him back. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. What do I know? There was also another knockdown that should have been a knockdown, which would have made it a 10-7 round. Um, but either way, I guess it doesn't matter because the judges saw it uh, the other way and they gave it to Vija. I really thought Rashidi was winning the fight the whole way. He was countering very well, was keeping his distance, jumping in when he wanted to, and his speed was just there. But you definitely saw towards the back end of the fight where the speed started slowing down a little bit. Looked like the stamina was a little bit of an issue. Not to say that that was the biggest issue, but you definitely saw the slowdown. And that's just something to, work forward, look forward to, and work on in the future and just improve and get better. But I definitely thought he was robbed and he won that fight. There was no doubt about that he won that fight. And man, just keep grinding, go on to the next one. The next fight is your biggest fight. So it is what it is. And if they are gonna do the rematch, then they said they wanted to do the rematch, but I don't know, man. I would just stay away from that. I would just keep it moving, go on to somebody else. Cause I mean, I've seen it in boxing all the time where one boxer gets away, you know what I'm saying, a bad decision, and they want to run it back, and egos and this and that. Yeah, yeah, let's run it back. You end up getting clipped, getting knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So I would, you know what I'm saying, go back to the gym, work on a few things, get another fight, maybe another fight after that, and then maybe run it back. You know what I'm saying? Go, maybe he got a belt and you number one contender and y'all can run it back like that. I don't know. But just to run it back because you felt the judges robbed you, I don't know, man. That could be dangerous. That's just my opinion, though. Next fight that we had on that slate was my man Boots Ennis. And this right here, this I didn't see the knockout. I didn't think it was gonna be a knockout. If you saw the weigh-ins, you saw the stare down, the way that they was looking at each other. I didn't think the knockout was gonna happen. What I didn't think though was that my man's was gonna move around so much like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like the whole fight, Boots was just chasing him. My man's was just trying to like hitting spots, you know what I mean? But nothing crazy. I felt there was a few times that Boots tagged him where he was really hurt. But like I said, my man was on his bicycle most of the night. And yeah, man, sometimes boxers are there to survive and not to win. You know what I mean? And that's one of those cases where it's a win if you don't get knocked out. And I feel like that's what my man was there for. Karan was just there to not get knocked out. But I don't think he was there for the win. Um, Most of the night he was engaged in Boots was chasing him around. And yeah, man. Also think though that Boots saw what happened in the fight before with Rashidi. And I don't know, man, big crowd, biggest crowd he fought under. Maybe he was a little nervous, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that's why he didn't step on that gas like that, you know what I'm saying? But either way, it was a good performance for Boots. And I guess it's good experience. You're knocking everybody the hell out. You kind of need some rounds. You know what I mean? Get those rounds in before you go get that big shark. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Hopefully that fight happens, man. I'm a Keith Thurman fan, but hopefully they don't even do that Keith Thurman Earl Spence fight, and they just get right down to you know what I'm saying, Boots and Spence, man. Let's see it before one of them disappears to another weight class. Um, yeah, that's just my opinion. And moving on to the main event. The main event, it went down just the way I thought it was gonna be. It just took a round longer. Tank Davis gets it done, and necessarily I didn't think that Tank was gonna outbox him. Um, my whole thought was that you know what I'm saying, Garcia was gonna run into some shit because Garcia is a come forward aggressive fighter. You know what I mean? And I mean, eventually he got him out, hit him with some shit to the, I believe it was the right side of the eye. He said he couldn't really see something like that, but yeah, man, I expected that to be quicker, but I also didn't expect for Garcia to I expected him to be that aggressive, but I didn't expect him to connect as much as he did and make that fight look the way he did. So kudos to him. Cause seriously, I mean, I'm Dominican, but I didn't think he was gonna last more than 6 rounds, man. I mean, we seen Tank do it to big guys, that one punch power, but man, he lasted as long as he lasted. You know what I'm saying? And that is what it is. And now with the Tank Davis, everybody's talking about Ryan Garcia and Ryan Garcia and Ryan Garcia. Um, if for some reason you see that this fight doesn't happen, don't be surprised if Tank and Ryan does not happen, because Ryan can say whatever Ryan wants to say, but at the end of the day, Golden Boy is his promoter, and that's the little cash cow. That's the only cash cow they got. So would you really put your cash cow up against, you know what I'm saying, a little killer like Tank? I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. So yeah, man, the name I'm gonna throw out there, because I saw some interesting stuff on Saturday while the fight was happening, is Mr. Gary Russell Jr. He's also from Maryland. They could probably run it right back in Washington and probably do the same amount, if not bigger, even on pay-per-views. Cause Gary's a known guy, and he was talking real greasy about Tank. So, hey man, that Ryan Garcia fight falls through, throwing Mr. Gary Russell. And another thing I'm gonna put out there too is when Gary Russell was saying what he was saying, he was right next to Steven Espinoza. And if you know boxing, you know Showtime. Steven Espinoza is the guy that runs that whole boxing Showtime little scenario over there. So the right ears were hearing what he was saying. So if that fight does fall apart and you don't see no Ryan Garcia, do not be surprised if you see Tank versus Gary Russell. And yeah, man, those are just my thoughts. That's what I got. That's my recap for Saturday night's fights. It was a great night of boxing. Like I said, if you like boxing, you like the event that happened on Saturday night. If you don't like boxing and you just like headhunters, then man, I don't know what to tell you. Go watch UFC, my brother. Peace.